Okay, welcome back to so we're gonna discuss today about talking about how an app works. So we talked about Xcode and compilation process and memory last time. And for review, Xcode is the development environment where we're gonna write code, and that code is gonna turn into is gonna be series of instructions to the computer. And those series of instructions is going to be turned into a machine language by a compilation process. We discussed a compilation process where you have building and linking, where a building, it builds the code and associates it to a linking process where it links the building code and linking code together and creates an executable. So, and we also discussed how the instructions are executed, kind of like plates. Right, so you have plates and you have plates on top of each other, and plates are taken off from top, and that one is called first in, last out. Okay, so go ahead and we're going to talk about an app. So you have an app that you see. This is a phone, an iPhone idea. So this is the iOS app, right? And you have written memory, you have series of instructions, and this itself is a computer. So anything that has a CPU, central processing unit, it's kind of like the heart for the computer, where it does all the mathematical instructions and everything. It looks like that, the CPU, and it does all the calculations and all that mathematics and processing and everything. So anything that has a CPU is a computer, and this has a memory, and it's basically, if it's a CPU and memory, it is a computer, and it does the compilation process through. So we do the compilation process before we build the apps. It's kind of like when you when you make a house, right? You have the architecture of the house, you have the map and everything, you have the plans, and you do all that stuff before you build the house. So you have all the parts. So we create all the parts by using a code, and that code is instructions, and the instructions are executed on the computer where it runs, and it displays this nice, beautiful app, right? So you have an app. So the way it works is these instructions are saved inside the computer, inside the memory. Remember, we talked about memory. And basically the computer, when it starts running and all the electricity, whatever, the battery, right, it powers up this CPU, and the CPU is basically tells the memory that, okay, fetch me this kind of thing because I need to run this program. So this program that you write is ran on the application. So that's how it is. And create a new layer. All right, so that's what the whole process is. So that this is the process, and we'll talk about we're gonna start Xcode next session, and we're gonna talk a little about how Xcode works, all the parts of Xcode, and we'll design some user interface, and then after that we'll be up and running and creating our very first app, where we're gonna actually do some to-do list. So it's going to be adding to-dos onto a stack and removing it. So I'm very excited to teach you that. Let's go ahead and start that. Thank you.